everybody, it's Nate over at Silverstream, and I'm excited to talk today about the Real Estate Money Machine's Roadmap to Success. Should take only about 10 minutes. I'm going to go over just a few things, and what I really want everybody to know is that this presentation is designed for our clients to be able to walk them through what to expect from Silverstream, and also it's a way for us to listen to the client's goals and talk to them about a few different strategies that we would implement if we were in their shoes. What we really like to do is personalize this roadmap for every individual client, but we wanted to give you an example of what this roadmap looks like for a typical client, what their goals would be, what strategies we would recommend implementing, and which houses would take part in that strategy. I'm Nathan Dodge. I'm the Director of Sales over at Silverstream, but I'm also a Relationship Manager. All of our clients are assigned a Relationship Manager over at Silverstream to make sure that they're educated properly about what Silverstream does, but also that they have someone to turn to with any questions during the due diligence process if they're new to real estate, so that they can find out more of the ins and outs of the things that they should be looking for when they're picking out good investment properties. And really just an all-around customer service person for before the close and after the sale as well. These are some typical goals that we see over at Silverstream. A lot of our clients are wanting to get out of paper assets, protect their investment dollars with real deeded real estate, get high yields, and in the long run, they don't want to have to do all of the heavy lifting sometimes that comes with real estate. When you can purchase real estate in the distressed situation, there's great returns to be made, but obviously there's a lot of work that has to be done with the renovation and placing tenants and finding the right property management and all of those types of things. And that's really what we're here for. This particular client that we had worked with, this is kind of a sample based on a couple of different people that we have worked with, but it's pretty generic as far as what most of our clients are looking for. Our main proposed solution for a lot of the issues that people are currently having with their investment dollars is let's get some consistent cash flow every single month, as opposed to some investments which may pay dividends, may not pay dividends, may have equity growth, may not have equity growth. Real estate is a great way to get consistent cash flows, but also be able to participate in equity gains as the markets rebound and different things like that. But then again, on sheets like this, we really like to get to know you as a client and find out what you're looking to do, and then find those houses that are going to help you meet those goals. Some of the strategies that we use over here, you'll hear us talk a lot about velocity of money. Greg talks about market timing in depth during the Real Estate Money Machine webinar. If any of you haven't watched that, it'll be great to do. And asset coordination. We want to make sure that these investments are going to play well with all of the things that you're doing in your investment world. Some of the things that we look to do for you and our commitment to you, we want to help you find the markets, find those markets that are going to show both good long-term equity growth and fantastic cash flows, and also have stable unemployment and different things like that, good demographics for rental real estate, things like that. So we're going to find those properties inside those markets. We'll handle all the rehab. We'll find you good property management. We'll qualify and place those tenants, and then also we'll help you understand a lot of the contracts and agreements that go along with residential real estate, things like lease agreements and property management agreements, all of those types of things. So a lot of our clients want to look at some different strategies. So for this particular client, we put together 3 different strategies. The first 2 we're using non-recourse financing. So this particular client had an IRA or 401k, and they weren't allowed to use some of the traditional funding out there. They had to use a loan that was just against the property and not against their personal credit or anything like that. That's what non-recourse financing is. So those first 2 strategies, with a typical $100,000 that a client has, we picked 5 houses and said, these are 5 houses that we think would work great for you, utilizing a couple different strategies, and I'll go into those in detail in a moment. Strategy C was a little bit different. Strategy C is a lot harder to implement, honestly, but it's the best strategy for the long term. What we recommend to people is buy as many houses as you can and try to turn all of your houses into Strategy C, where you can pull money out, only have 20% of your cash in, and then be able to reinvest all of the income that those properties generate, for the next couple of years. You'll see that Strategy A and B is 5 houses, where Strategy C is 8. So Strategy A, there's a big difference between Strategy A and Strategy B. And if you look here, during the first 5 years, the strategy has to do with purchasing 5 homes in year 1, and then an extra home every year after that with the income. An extra home or 2, whatever you can get. Strategy B, you'll see that in year 2, you're not acquiring any new properties, but you're just doing passive note investing. And that's a way that you can earn a good return in real estate investing, but you don't have to have a lot of the extra hassles or liability that comes along with the loans. You're able to just get a good solid return, usually 8% investing, where you are the primary lender on a property and there's no other lien holders. And we can talk about that further. But back to Strategy A. So what we're doing is we're taking $100,000 roughly that the client has initially in year 1. We're purchasing 5 homes. And you can see that the net income is being used in year 2 to purchase additional real estate. And then the same thing is being done in year 3, 4, and 5. The main difference between this and Strategy B is that after 5 years, you're using the cash. You begin accumulating your cash accounts, whereas in year 2, in Strategy A, you're doing that in year 2. I'm not going to go into this detail, but get together with a relationship manager to find out how these projections work. But essentially, we're trying to show conceptually what kind of tax benefits you can get from this type of real estate, what kind of appreciation you can expect, income, and conceptually show that over the years, this type of investment account can compound very well if you follow, some of these strategies. So what you'll see on here is, what to do year by year, what kind of loan amounts you have growing, what kind of cash accounts that you have growing, and basically at the end of 10 years, what kind of income and equity could you be looking for. Strategy B, you'll see a lot of real good compounding happens. You own a lot less real estate, so this particular strategy is not going to participate as much in the equity upside. It's more of a passive cash flow, where the majority of the investment dollars are being put into passive note investing, where you don't participate on, flipping the house, as some people might call it, or reselling the house. You really just use some houses to get into the game and then begin passive investing after year 2. So it's real good for the cash flow, a real easy portfolio to manage, but it may not participate in a lot of the gains that a lot of people are expecting to see in real estate over the coming years. Strategy C obviously has the highest cash flow because you're using the least amount of money to purchase the most possible real estate. The other examples used about $300,000 right here in new acquisitions, but with 20% down on $100,000, you could purchase around $500,000 worth of real estate. And at the cash flows that we're seeing, as far as the rents and the purchase prices and all those things, you can get some really fantastic income from that. So in this particular strategy, this would be what I'd call kind of the turbocharged strategy, which is purchasing the maximum amount of real estate. You're purchasing 8+ homes in the first year, 2 to 4 every year after that. So by the end of this, you have 15, 20 houses, incredible cash flows, and the maximum amount of equity gains long term, which are hard to project, but it's definitely something to consider. So how do we select our markets? The primary thing that you'll hear us talking about a lot is the price-to-income ratio. We want to make sure every dollar that you're spending, you're getting the maximum amount of income. So we look for the markets that have a great price-to-income ratio. Some of these other things Greg goes into a lot of detail in the Real Estate Money Machine seminar. Feel free to watch that. But we look at the unemployment and the demographics. We're looking for real strong cities that have good purchase prices, but real high rents and good demographics and unemployment numbers and different things like that. So the houses that we picked for these first scenarios, strategy A, B, and C, are all in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a real great city. We would love to talk to you further in person about why we think this particular city is so great. We have quite a few other cities, but for this particular example, we're using Indianapolis. So on to the houses. Why did we choose these houses? Well, a lot of our houses, they all cash flow really well, but we chose these particular houses because they fit what this particular client was looking for as far as crime rates and demographics and what type of houses he wanted. There's a lot of different types of rental properties out there. You can buy Section 8 houses. You can buy more houses that are designed to be kind of like lease options to sell to the tenant. You can buy nicer neighborhoods with lower cash flow but maybe better long-term tenants. We'd love to help you pick out individualized properties for what you're looking for. But this particular example used Dearborn, which was one of the houses, Alice, 43rd, Jamie Court, Linwood, and those are all properties that you could buy using these strategies. Strategy C has a couple additional properties that have been tagged for it because they had a little bit, you could use a little bit more leverage, and so we threw a couple more houses in here. But what you'll basically see on these data sheets is what are the actual numbers for these particular houses? What are the expenses? What is the taxes, insurance, management fees, things like that? What are the actual rents that these properties are getting? And what will those properties look like, with financing? What will they look if I didn't use financing? Different things like that. And then we'll always throw in a couple extra data sheets on here so that if you don't like some of the properties, you can say, okay, why don't you swap out Reisner for Peyton? That's a house that I like quite a bit. And we can build that portfolio around what you're looking for in particular. Give you a couple more ideas about some of the different houses that we have. Here's a couple of the other markets that we have quite a bit of inventory in. That's real great, and we have others. We want you to know that when you find a house that you think is going to work well for you, we're going to be here with you as your real estate investment advisors, both before the close, during the due diligence period, and especially after the close. So we want to let you know that we're here to help you understand the markets that you're in, understand the piece of property that you have, and give you some tools and tips to help you manage those properties and so that they can perform as best as possible. Once you find a house and you feel like you're going in the right direction as far as all of that stuff, the financing and which houses and neighborhoods and all that stuff, which your relationship manager will help you with, there's just a couple steps in moving forward. But the main thing is tie up these properties, and once we know you're serious about the property, you put earnest money in an escrow account at a title company. It never comes to us, and you tie those properties up because they tend to move kind of quickly, and that'll buy you quite a bit of time to do all of your proper due diligence. And if there's anything that you find during the due diligence process that you don't like, it's very easy to you can either back out and we can find you a new property, or you can just move on. It's real simple. The contracts are very clear that if there's anything in the inspections or otherwise that you are not happy with, you can absolutely back out. The next steps after you tie up a property with 100% refundable earnest money is select your financing. We'll talk to you about what types of financing may or may not be available out there. Sometimes you have to buy with cash and then try to do refinances later and pull out your equity to move on to new properties, and sometimes you can get financing from the get-go, and we can talk to you about those options or what type of non-recourse financing may be available. After that, you go into the due diligence process, and we'll give you checklists to go over so that you can double-check everything from the electrical to the plumbing, check out the property manager, look at all the property management agreements, the lease agreements, find out about the tenant, find out what kind of rehab's been done on these properties, look at the interiors, photos, videos, and things like that we'll provide so you can get to know your investment and be excited about it. So we're excited to take you guys through this process of building a roadmap specifically for you. Feel free to call us with any questions. Again, I'm Nate. I'm happy to talk to anybody about this, and also anybody else at the company is available. So thanks again for listening.